Hello everybody and welcome back to Odin's movie blog. I am the critic who is a cynic. Hope we're doing well. And today, oh my goodness, we have so many things to talk about. There are so many stories that have broken just over the last 24 hours that I have to cover. And instead of doing just, 5 different videos on it, which I could do, I'd rather just try and put it all into one because there's just so much to talk about and I really don't feel like having to have all these individual videos fighting against each other. But anyway, the Academy is postponing the new popular Oscar category. Oh my goodness. People are actually listening. So I saw this earlier today, and actually one of my subscribers, Greta, who is also a contributor to the show, contributor to this channel, is a really great person. Hello, Greta. How are you? She gave me, she posted this article to me. Obviously I had seen the headline already, but I had not actually read the article. But the Academy is officially postponing their new popular Oscar category because obviously there was not only a lot of backlash from Academy members, but also from audiences who honestly saw it for what it was, which was it was the Academy's attempt to try and stay relevant, to try and say, oh, well, we know we're never going to nominate films like The Dark Knight, which are actually the best, some of the greatest films of all time, because they're superhero films and they're less. So you know what we'll do? We'll create an entirely new category for those films. So that way we'd never have to worry about ever giving them a Best Picture nomination. But guess what's going to happen, guys? And this is really what, it's both good and bad news. It's good that this category is not happening, at least at this point. It says the Academy announced Thursday following a meeting of the board of directors on Tuesday that it is shelving the idea for the moment and will not launch the proposed new award at the next Oscar show. But it said it will continue to discuss the idea for the new award and will examine and seek additional input regarding the new category. So it looks like they are still planning on doing it. It just will not be taking place at the next Oscars. But what does that mean for Black Panther? Because again, I pointed out saying the main reason why they are pushing it this year is because they want to give Black Panther an Oscar. Well, do not be surprised, ladies and gentlemen, if Black Panther does not get nominated for an Oscar for Best Picture. And I'm sorry, Black Panther is an okay film. It's a B- film. It's fine. But to say that it should be the first superhero film to be nominated for an Oscar for Best Picture over films like The Dark Knight, Avengers: Infinity War, etc., is just stupid. Is just not based in reality and just defies all logic and reason. And I'm sorry. Again, I'm a very straightforward person on this channel. I'm never going to beat around the bush. The only reason why Black Panther would be nominated for an Oscar for Best Picture is for political reasons. And again, you can take that for what you want. It's the truth. I'm sorry. It is nothing more than the truth. Other big news has to do with the Oscars. So it was also announced today that Kathleen Kennedy, our favorite Star Wars producer and head of Star Wars, head of Lucasfilm. Oh, she is prolific. She is a prolific producer. Kathleen Kennedy will be the first woman to receive the Irving G. Thalberg Memorial Award. Oh my God, the first woman, guys. Oh my God, can you believe it? Oh my God, finally a woman has won the Irving G. Thalberg Memorial Award. Oh, yes. That's fantastic. So basically the Governor Awards, which is a show that no one really watches or even really cares about, are a bunch of honorary Oscars given to various people, mostly various producers for their work in the service, producers, actors, etc., mostly for their work around the industry. And so her and Frank Marshall, who's her husband, and also her partner in crime, are both going to be honored at this at this awards, which is just hilarious. But anyway, it did get me thinking because it did mention that together they have produced The Sixth Sense, Seabiscuit, Munich, The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, and others have been Congo, all 5 Bourne films, and The Diving Bell and the Butterfly, which is probably the widest range of films that you will ever see. If you've never seen Congo, oh my goodness, Congo is great. There's a gorilla that can talk in sign language, and there's this machine that takes the sign language and makes it into actual words. And then there's these silverback gorillas, and there's like a person who gets his brain taken out of his skull. Oh man, guys, Congo is amazing. Then you have all 5 Bourne films, which again, I like the thirst. The original, the actual trilogy itself is fine, but then Legacy and Bourne just goes off on a tangent. And then The Diving Bell and the Butterfly, which is, again, a very well-regarded independent film. A very wide range of films here. Also, we see The Color Purple, E.T., Warhorse, and Lincoln. So this goes back to the conversation. If you have not seen my conversation that I had the other day with Matthew Kadish, go check it out. Matthew Kadish is a brilliant guy, but also he's able to keep things down to earth. And he made very clear that he does not think Kathleen Kennedy is a bad producer. I know. Trust me, I know. to say good things about Kathleen Kennedy. But no one can deny that things like E.T., Warhorse, Lincoln are bad films, or even the films that I was just making fun of, that at least there's some entertainment value to them. I don't think anyone's going to deny that there are some things that Kathleen Kennedy can do well. Again, producing is very different than running or being the head of Lucasfilm. I think that the fairest way to come about and talk about Kathleen Kennedy is to say she is a terrible president of Lucasfilm. She is not a forward-thinking executive who's able to plan out things and do things well. Instead, you could say that she's probably a good producer of various films. She should just not be involved with Star Wars, and I think that's a fair assessment. Again, you look at these films, there's some really good ones in here, but of course there's also films like Congo, and of course we already know about The Last Jedi and, Solo, and all these other films that she's been a part of that, aren't really as good, but still something where, I can at least understand, especially when, again, she was involved with E.T., Warhorse, Lincoln, etc. I think that there's some, obviously some credence for her to get an award. Obviously it's not coming completely out of nowhere here, but I do think it's funny that the year after all of the craziness, all of the madness for The Last Jedi comes out, that she gets nominated for an Oscar. Essentially, even though it's an honorary Oscar, she still gets an Oscar. She's going to get an Oscar for this, which to me is just, it's just wonderful. It's great. It's fantastic. But anyway, I will at least give her credit here. Again, she doesn't seem to be a terrible producer. Then we have this thing. Again, lots of news today, guys. It's crazy. I don't even know what the title of this video is going to be. It's probably going to be like news wrap up, and then it's going to have Kathleen Kennedy, racism, etc., because that's all that we have talked about today. So, this from Gizmodo. The Washington Post analysis of Star Wars toxic fandom doesn't go deep enough. Oh my goodness, the toxic fandom, guys, the toxic fandom, we're toxic. Oh my God, we're all a bunch of white man babies living in our mom's basements. None of us are independent or married or different race or gender. And, just ignore Ivan Ortega and mindless entertainments and that Star Wars girl and the guys over world-class BSers and Jeremy, and just, ignore all of them. There's no diversity there. There's no different backgrounds of race and gender in any of those groups at all. And yeah, we're just a bunch of racists. That's what it is. And I'm sure that's what this study has uncovered, is that the truth of the race of the toxic person is there. Who hates Star Wars for its newfound diversity? Here are the numbers. It comes to the perhaps unsurprising conclusion that as ferocious as it has become lately, the toxic subculture that has developed in the Star Wars fandom is a vocal minority, but its sampling is still too narrow. Yes, the vocal minority that made Solo lose $200 million at the box office. Yeah, vocal minority that is going to lead to Episode 9 if they don't make any major decisions, not making $1 billion. Yeah, let's talk about that vocal minority that's been speaking very loudly with their wallets. Let's talk about them. But also, I love how they're trying to say it in a deep way, saying like, oh, it's only a small group of people that are racist. It's like, no, actually, it's a small group of the small group. In your mind, again, it's a very large group actually that has a very small group that are actually racist and sexist. But let's not talk about reality. Let's not talk about real numbers here. I mean, come on. You can't have any real numbers here, right? Oh, wait, they do. Keyword searches, negative tweets, 6.9%. Rose Tico, 12.1%. 18, wait, what? That's not very high. Wait, who did this research? What is this? A table from Lacina's full report contrasting percentages of offensive language and hate speech in tweets relating to Star Wars, Rose Tico, and actress Kelly Marin Tran, and then between male and female identified fan podcasters. Interesting. 7%, 8%, 8.5%, 12.1%. Oh my God, these are just, this is awful, guys. Look at these numbers for yourself. This is just, man, I had no idea how hateful I was. I had no idea how hateful our community was. This is just amazing. Let's see what the breakdown is. Lacina's research also found similar spikes of abusive language when looking at the way people discuss Star Wars with female fans, but it's here where the cracks of the limited scope of the data begin to show. While the results show that female fans are more likely to receive hateful speech from fans, 1 in 280 tweets containing hate speech in comparison to 1 in 450 tweets for men, the sampling came from a very specific subset of online Star Wars fandom Star Wars podcast Twitter accounts. 63 accounts in total, with 37 operated by men and 26 by women, form the basis of this section of research. And while Lacina argues that Star Wars podcasters are indebted to Lucasfilm, as the existence of more Star Wars to talk about it is viral to. Okay, so basically what I'm getting from this is that this study is just not very accurate from the person who's trying to say, oh, it doesn't go far enough. So you're already admitting that there's problems with the data here, but yet you're trying to defend the outcome and saying that if it was any different, that the outcome would be different. And again, 1 in 280 versus 1 in 450. Oh my God, guys. That's just 1 in every 280 tweets has a bad word in it, guys. This is just, oh my goodness. This is crazy. All right, let's end it with the last bit of news. So this is Oscar Isaac wants to keep Poe's love life as fluid as possible. So it wasn't bad enough already that Solo essentially got sunk for the most part because John Kasdan decided to come out and say, oh yeah, well, Lando is, pansexual. And, so, wait, what? Now apparently Oscar Isaac is saying the same thing about Poe Dameron being gender fluid and keeping him as gender fluid as possible. So you've heard it here, folks. Yes, that's right. Poe Dameron apparently is now also pansexual. I know what you're saying. Hey, what is this? What does pansexuality even mean? I know. Now you're going to have to go and Google what pansexuality means again. I know, right? It's just basically it's this idea and concept that there are people that are sexually attracted to pretty much anything. Whether alive or droid or whatever. That seems to be the mindset, at least within the Star Wars universe, which to me is just very, very, very odd. And I don't know why this has continued to be a question that are given to these Star Wars actors, and also why these Star Wars actors and why these actors in general keep responding in just these stupid ways. So the quoted question was, waiting to share someday with the right partner. So because Oscar Isaac had because this was in apparently the visual dictionary. This is where it came from. Because he wears apparently his mom's wedding ring, wears it around his neck. And so in there it says waiting to share someday with the right partner. Now obviously Lucasfilm wanted to be like, oh yes, we have to have it as gender non-specific as possible because we have to make sure that it's open to every single person. That's just what it has to be. And so then we asked Isaac, who's been supportive of Poe's possible LGBTQ AIP, I think you're missing some letters there, about his character's ring and the use of the term partner in the guidebooks. His coy response, I'm all about keeping it as fluid as possible. Okay. Yeah, let's just bring more sexuality into Star Wars where it didn't need to be in the first place and just create more of a headache. So guys, Poe's a pansexual. There are no numbers to support, once again, this just toxic masculinity, toxic fandom nonsense that they've been showing. Kathleen Kennedy is getting an Oscar. Just because she's a producer, who apparently just decided to leave her producing creds at the door when she decided to take over Star Wars. And also the new award of popular film category that was supposed to help give things like Black Panther and Infinity War the Oscar nominations that they deserve has been taken away, and guess what? We're probably going to get Black Panther nominated for an Oscar. But anyway, guys, what are y'all's thoughts on any of these stories? Please let me know in the comments below. I know that there is so much stuff, but again, I didn't want to bog you or me down with several different videos covering each and every topic because I felt like there was enough information in each to be able to contain within one 15 to 20 minute video. So again, we got this new Oscar, Kathleen Kennedy, toxic fandom, bua, and pansexuality. So again, guys, please let me know your comments below about any of these topics. I would greatly appreciate it. Also, if you like this video, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe. You guys are amazing. Rose Tico, you are amazing. Give it up for Rose Tico, Aussie Rose Tico, actually, because she is from Australia. Therefore, I will say this. I want to say thank you to Mr. Peabody. You know who you are. Mr. Peabody sent me this action figure from Australia because of all the love for Rose Tico that we have on this channel, because it is not her fault that she is written so terribly. Damn it. Anyway, guys, thank y'all so much for watching. Y'all are amazing. Have a great day. And as always, God bless.